Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Sharifah Shakira Al-Hadi binti Said Abdillah and my matrix number is 2023290266.
My name is Nur Idayu binti Lokman and my matric number is 2023697992.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Siti Nasaleh Hafidah Muhaini with student ID 2023674022.
My name is Nuhida Husna binti Abdurrahim. My matrix number is 2023284518.
My name is Nur Izzati Natasha binti Zamir Akmal and my student ID 2023223036.
Hello everyone. Today I will be presenting on communications in organizations, poor upward and downward communication flow. Communication is important in any organizations because it helps information, instructions, and feedback flow clearly between management and employees. Without proper communication, misunderstandings can happen, which may leave employees feeling disconnected or unsure about their tasks. For example, when instructions are unclear, employees might perform tasks incorrectly or face delays, which can affect teamwork and overall performance. This shows why effective communication is so important for creating a productive and positive work environment. The objective of this report focuses on understanding communication in organizations, especially upward and downward communication. First, we aim to understand how these communication flows work and why they are important. Second, we identify the issues that arise when communications is poor, such as misunderstanding or lack of feedback. Third, we examine how ineffective communication affects employees' performance and the overall organizations. Fourth, we emphasize why effective communication is essential for a positive and productive workplace. Finally, we suggest practical ways to improve communication flow so that both employees and management can work together more effectively.
Here is the issue of poor upward and downward communication flow within organizations and its impact on organizational effectiveness. Firstly, ineffective downward communication is a major concern. Information delivered from top-level management is often unclear, incomplete or inconsistent, as highlighted by Nurul Nabiha Kama Bahrain 2023, when messages regarding organizational goals, jobs responsibility, policies, or performance expectations are not clearly communicated. Employees at lower level may misunderstood management's intentions. This lack of clarity leads to confusion, role ambiguity, and inconsistency in work practices. Furthermore, important organization decisions or changes are frequently communicated without sufficient explanation, making it difficult for employees to carry out tasks effectively or align their action with organizational objectives. In addition to downward communication, poor upward communication is equally problematic. According to Morrison 2022, employees often face barriers when trying to provide feedback, raise concern, or suggest ideas to management. Highly hierarchical organization structure, limited communication channels, and fear of negative consequences discourage employees from speaking openly. As a result, management loses valuable insight from employees who are directly involved in daily operations. This prevents leaders from gaining an accurate understanding of workplace challenge and employee needs. When both upward and downward communication channels are ineffective, a breakdown in two-way communication occurs. This creates a disconnect between management and employees, limiting mutual understanding and cooperation. Management becomes unable to refine leadership approaches, respond to employee concern in a timely manner, or make informed decisions. Over time, this communication failure erodes trust, reduces employee morale and engagement, and negatively impact productivity. Ultimately, as noted by Department of Public Relations 2019, poor communication flow weaken overall organizational performance and effectiveness.
I will be presenting the analysis on the issue of communication barriers in the work environment. This analysis is based on the journal article titled Communication Barriers in Work Environment, Understanding Impact and Challenges by Bahrain, Sakarni and Maiden, published in 2023. Communication plays a vital role in organizational success, yet it remains one of the most common challenges faced by employee and management. Ineffective communication does not only affect daily operations but also influence productivity, teamwork, and employee morale. One of the key issues discussed in this article is language barriers, especially in the organization with a diverse workforce. In the Malaysian context, workplace often consists of employees from different ethnic, cultural, and linguistic backgrounds. When instructions, job expectation, and safety guidelines are not clearly understood due to language differences, employee may perform tasks incorrectly and inefficiently. This can lead to mistakes, misunderstanding, and even workplace conflict. Research also shows that effective communication is a strong predictor of organizational commitments, particularly in multi-ethnic working environments. Therefore, language barriers can significantly reduce both performance and employee engagement. Besides language, culture barriers also contribute to communication problems in the workplace. Employees from different cultural backgrounds may have different communication style, value, and interpretation of non-verbal cues. For example, difference in tone of voice, body language, or attitude towards authority can cause message to be misunderstood. When these cultural differences are not recognized or managed properly, employees may feel excluded or misunderstood. This negatively affects teamwork, trust, and collaboration, making it more difficult for employees to work effectively together. Another important issue highlighted in the article is physical and technological barriers, especially with the increasing use of remote and hybrid work arrangements. Limited face-to-face interaction and heavy reliance on digital communication tools can reduce message clarity and emotional connection among employees. Without non-verbal cues such as facial expressions and body language, messages may be easily misinterpreted. This often leads to confusion, frustration, delayed decision-making, and reduced efficiency, particularly when teamwork and collaboration are required. Furthermore, communication barriers have a significant impact on employee morale and motivation. When employees feel that their opinions are not heard or their messages are misunderstood, it creates frustration and psychological distance between employees and management. Studies suggest that the quality of communication channels plays a major role in employee satisfaction. Poor communication tools or excessive noise in communication can weaken motivation and reduce job satisfaction, which may eventually lead to higher turnover rates. In conclusion, this analysis shows that communication barriers are not minor or isolated issues. Language, cultural, and physical barriers collectively affect organizational effectiveness by reducing productivity, weakening teamwork, and lowering employee morale. If these barriers are not addressed properly, organizations may struggle to maintain efficient operations and positive working relationships. Therefore, understanding the causes and impact of communication barriers is essential for organizations that aim to improve collaboration, employee performance, and overall organization success.
Hi, my name is Nur Izzati Natasha binti Zamir Akmal. And for this section, I will explain the current solution used by organizations to improve upward and downward communication. Firstly, organizations commonly use meeting, emails, and official announcements to deliver information from management to employees. These methods help ensure that employees receive instruction, updates, and organizational goals accurately. However, communication can still be effective if messages are not delivered properly or if employees do not have the opportunity to respond. Second, employee surveys and feedback sessions are used to collect employees' opinions. concerns, and suggestions. This method allows employees to express their views in a structured way, especially when they are uncomfortable speaking directly to management. In addition, some organizations practice an open door policy where employees are encouraged to approach their supervisors or managers to discuss work-related issues. This helps reduce communication barrier and improve their trust between employees and management. Lastly, communication training is provided to managers to help them improve their communication skills. Effective managers are able to deliver messages clearly and listen to employees, which can reduce misunderstanding in the workplace. Based on current solutions, several practical recommendations can be suggested to future improve communication in organization. Firstly, organizations should encourage two-way communication rather than one-way communication. Employees should feel that their opinions are valued, not just informed about decisions made by management. This can increase employee involvement and motivation. Secondly, management should use clear, simple, and consistent message when communication with employees. Complex language and unclear instruction can lead to confusing mistakes and frustrating among employees. Next, organizations should not only collect employee feedback but also take action on it. When employees see that their feedback leads to real improvement, they are more likely to participate actively in a future communication process. Finally, continuous communication training should be provided to both managers and employees. This helps improve listening skill, message delivery, and overall communication effectiveness, especially in a modern and diverse workplace. So, effective upward and downward communication is important to create a positive work environment and improve organizational performance.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Nur Idayu binti Lokman. So for the conclusion, that what we found in our research is that communication in a company isn't just about giving orders. For an organization to realize succeed, information have to move like a loop. Downward communication provides the direction, but upward communication provides the path or the feedback that management needs to make the good decisions. We have seen that when barriers like strict hierarchies or language issues are ignored, it's the employees who suffer first through low morale, and eventually the business suffers through mistakes and lost productivity. Our group's main takeaway is this: organizations need to stop treating communication as just a series of emails. It's about building a culture where people are safe to speak up. By implementing the training and the feedback system we have discussed, a company can move from a place of confusion to a place of trust. When people feel heard and understood, the whole organization becomes more resilient and productive. Thank you for your time.